Hey there, skeleton crew, or should I say, skeleton class. Things may be looking a little bit different around here today. Raid was on the hunt for someone charismatic, charming, and witty to refresh you all on the basics of the game. When they couldn't find that person, they turned to me. Turns out my PhD was worth something. As an accredited Raid professor, I'm here to guide you through the world of Teleria, whether you're a fresh-faced newbie or a veteran who's a little rusty. And let me tell you, with yours truly as the host, you can expect nothing less than the finest education a YouTube video can offer. Oh, and one more thing before we get started. With a game like Raid, things will change a little over time. I mean, just look at me, right? I've gone from a nobody to becoming a massive star and a world-renowned professor. Anyway, what I mean is that some of the things we'll be looking at have the capacity to change in the future. Always check your sources, people. All right then, settle down, class, settle down. We're officially in session. Today we're talking about artifact sets. I happen to be something of an expert in this area. Why else would I have been asked to hold the Arbiter's chest plate during that one scene in Call of the Arbiter? We've got a lot to cover here, so this first lesson will be the real basics. So let's begin. What exactly are artifact sets? Well, class, all artifacts belong to a specific set. Whenever a champion equips a specific number of artifacts from the same set, they receive a bonus. This is on top of the stat boosts provided by the artifacts themselves. Neat, right? Where things get interesting is that these bonuses can vary. Some are exclusive to the wearer, while others have the power to impact your entire team. So, lesson 1, never underestimate the immense value of artifact set bonuses. But Professor Death Knight, what are these bonuses? Well, great question, student. Let's go through some of the most easily accessible artifact sets, which can be found in Raid's campaign. There will be a pop quiz, so take notes. First up, we have what I like to call the garden variety sets that boost your base stats. Let's start with the life set. Equipping 2 artifacts from this set will grant your champions an additional 15% HP. Not too shabby, but it's not exactly anything to shout about either. Consider this your baseline artifact set. Things only get more exciting from here. In the campaign, you'll find these life artifacts by venturing onto the ramparts of Kyrock Castle. Look at us! First artifact set down. Well, that's HP covered, so let's look at damage, huh? Feast your eyes on the offense artifact set, my ambitious would-be warriors. Equipping 2 artifacts from this set blesses your champions with an extra 15% attack. If you need some extra oomph to take out your enemies, well, this is perfect. Nothing else really to say here, simple but effective. You can find these artifacts in the sewers of Arnok. Ugh, slimy. Okay, now we're rolling, huh? Allow me to introduce the defense set, because sometimes a good defense is actually the best defense. For every 2 of these protective artifacts you have equipped to your champion, they'll gain an extra 15% defense. Seek them out in the treacherous catacombs of Narbuk. Say hello to my fellow undead while you're out there. Hi. Now here's something that can really make your damage dealer shine. The critical rate set. With only 2 of these artifacts equipped, your champions will get a 12% boost to their critical rate. Gotta pump up those numbers to get those critical hits in, folks. The dense Durham Forest is where you'll find these in the campaign, along with a bunch of dark elves. A walk in the park. This certainly is not. Alright, next up we've got the accuracy set. This is another 2-piece set, and this one will boost your champion's accuracy by a solid 40 points. Question, class, why is accuracy important? No one? It's okay, first lesson nerves, I'll tell you anyway. The higher your champion's accuracy, the better their chances of breaking through enemy resistance and landing debuffs. Trust me, making sure your accuracy is high enough is probably one of the most important lessons I can teach you about Raid. So you can't go wrong with a well-stocked stash of these artifacts in storage. You can grab them from a quick visit to Fellwind's Gate. Moving on, we've got arguably one of the most important base artifact sets, Speed. This one cranks up your champion's speed by a sweet 12% for every 2 artifacts equipped. This is the only time I'll advocate for speeding, folks. Speed is king in Raid. The higher your speed, the faster your champion's turn meters will fill, leaving your foes in the dust. If you've ever got 2 artifact slots to fill, Speed is always a good choice. You can hunt down these artifacts in the Palace of Aravia in the campaign. That's your homework, class. Go grab some Speed artifacts. Okay, class, do you remember earlier when I mentioned resistance and debuffs? Well, luckily, there's a set for that. The resistance artifact set will add 40 points of resistance to the wearer for every 2 artifacts equipped. Pretty good for champions that you don't want to see stunned, asleep, or frozen. Trust me, I've been there. 0 out of 10 would not recommend. You can find these shiny little lifesavers in the city of Tilshire in the campaign. Class, how we all doing, huh? We feeling good? All right, well, let's move on to the more advanced stuff. Don't worry, I think you can handle it. One of the first complex sets you'll encounter is Lifesteal. This is a 4-piece set that grants your champion the power to heal themselves by a huge 30% of the damage they dish out. Let's leave the ethical questions of stealing someone's life for a second and picture this. With this set equipped, your damage dealers can keep themselves alive by doing what they do best, dealing damage. It's good for farmers, counterattackers, and teams where you don't have a healer. It's a win-win, win-win. That's a lot of wins. If you want to stock up on Lifesteal, hit the Valdemar Strait in the campaign. Make sure you got your life jackets. I don't want any of my students getting tossed overboard out there. Next up, destroy artifacts. No, not destroy artifacts. Destroy artifacts. Anyways, this badass 4-piece set grants your champions the power to destroy a portion of their target's max HP, stacking up to 40%. This is super handy when facing big beefy targets with huge health bars. Hang on a minute though, class. Don't get too excited. You can only obliterate up to 8% of a target's HP with a single skill. And there's only one place in the campaign where you can find such a destructive set, the terrifying Deadlands. Okay, everyone, we're on the home stretch now. I've saved some of the most interesting ones for last, as all 3 of these have had some fairly recent changes to how they work. First up, Retaliation. It's now a 2-piece set that gives your champion a nifty 15% chance to unleash a counterattack whenever an enemy lands a hit on them. Now, I'm no mathematician. I actually majored in dance therapy. But if you manage to collect a total of 6 retaliation artifacts, you'll be able to teach your enemies a lesson roughly half the time they attack you. Not too shabby. If you want these artifacts, journey to Godfrey's Crossing in the campaign. Ten down, 2 to go. Say hello to the Fury artifact set. While your champions are happy and healthy, Fury boosts their damage by a solid 10%. However, things get real interesting when your champion starts taking a beating. When their HP drops below 75%, they deal 25% more damage. Sounds good, but wait, there's more. If your HP drops below 50%, you get a massive 50% damage boost. There must be healthier ways of dealing with your anger, but I guess this works too. Now then, students, a reminder that this is a high-risk, high-reward strategy. Champions that get hit a lot will certainly benefit from this set, but it means you're taking damage. Maybe don't put this on champions with low HP. That's my scholarly advice for you. Getting these artifacts from the campaign means paying a visit to the Hallowed Halls. Not the nicest place, so get those artifacts and get out of there. Okay, class, the curing set is our final one for today. As you can probably guess from the name, this one is all about healing. First of all, this 4-piece set allows your healer to grant an additional 20% bonus heal on top of any healing. This would be awesome on its own, but here's the kicker. It also allows them to restore destroyed HP too. Remember the destroy set we looked at earlier? This is the perfect counter to it. Plus, Curing's got you covered when dealing with those scary bosses that can destroy your HP. Plus, let's be honest, a little bit of extra healing never hurt anyone. Getting these is no cakewalk though. You'll have to get all the way to the Brimstone Path for curing artifacts. Well, would you look at the time, huh? We're done with today's lesson. One last point before y'all rush out, all of these artifacts can also be found in certain dungeons or at the market. Extra credit for anyone who wants some. Can anyone tell me the difference between campaign artifacts and dungeon artifacts? If you need any questions answered out of class hours, you can find more resources from the links in the description below. I'll see you next time where we'll be looking at artifact sets you can primarily get from dungeons. Okay, class dismissed. Oh, wait, for extra credit, don't forget to follow me on social media at OG Death Knight. And they're gone. Great. That's great.